So in this video we're going to talk about what Mallorca is like in October. I'm going to run through what the weather is like, how busy the resorts are going to be and what you can expect if you're coming over here in terms of things to do and places to go, and also some key events too. Okay, so the first question I'm going to address in this video is, what is the weather going to be like in Mallorca during the month of October? Well, fingers crossed, and going back on the videos that I made last year, you can see that the weather was actually amazing and we had some super high temperatures going right through the month of October too. But that's not to say that we're not going to get our fair share of rain or storms, and I'm actually filming this in September and you can see behind me that we're actually expecting some rain today. But what will happen is that if you are coming over, then just make sure that you pack for, well, all seasons. Make sure you bring your summer clothes, make sure you bring some clothes for the autumn too. You're going to expect some very hot days, you may expect some rainy or cloudy days, but you're also going to expect some slightly cooler evenings. But by coming over here in October, for many of you, it's going to be a big relief from the very hot temperatures over July and August. Now, the sun will not rise until around 8 o'clock in the morning, and sundown is going to be around 7:30. So you're going to expect a much shorter day. You may be spending a little bit less time on the beach. You're also going to find that the hotel swimming pools are going to be a little bit cooler, but I have to say that the sea is going to maintain a lovely warm temperature. It's going to be perfect for swimming as well, because it would have heated up throughout the summer months as well. It'll be a little bit cooler than July and August, but it's still perfectly fine to go swimming in the sea over here. Now, in my video guides looking at the various months here in Mallorca and what it's like travelling over here, I've always recommended booking tables in restaurants if you're going out to eat. During October, while the restaurants are going to be a little bit less busy during the week, if you are going out to eat on, say, a Friday, Saturday or Sunday daytime, I would still recommend making that table booking as well. You're going to find a lot of residents here obviously wanting to go out in the evenings or on the weekends as well, and you're going to find many of the key restaurants still looking to be very busy. This includes key restaurants in main resorts as well, so just make sure if there's somewhere that you really want to eat that you do make that restaurant booking. Now, I have had lots of questions about resorts closing down during the month of October. It is business as usual here during October, so don't worry too much. The only thing that you may well expect is that some restaurants, or say ice cream shops, that are looking to close down at the end of October may be reducing their stock down. You may not find some items on the menu. You may go into an ice cream shop and maybe not find your favourite flavour of ice cream because they just don't want to replace it so close to the end of the season. So just bear that in mind. But otherwise, you're going to find it's going to be pretty much business as usual. Okay, so let's look at things to do in Mallorca during the month of October. Well, I'm going to start off with the water parks because I know many of you will be hoping to come over and use the water parks. Now, if these high temperatures that we have experienced during the month of September do continue, it's quite likely that the water parks may well stay open. I cannot guarantee it though, because I currently have a closure date for, say, Hydro Park in Alcudia for the end of September, but this may change, so just bear that in mind if you're coming over. You may find these water parks open, you may find them closed. However, the big advantage to coming over during the month of October is that you're going to find much emptier beaches. Now, in my opinion, a lot of the resorts weren't really that packed over the summer months, so you're going to find them to be even less busier during the month of October. There'll be plenty of room on the beaches, there'll be plenty of opportunities to go swimming, so if you're coming over, expect to enjoy plenty of beach time too. Now, I'm absolutely delighted to say that as we enter the month of October and we do get these slightly cooler temperatures, that hiking and cycling is going to be very much back on the agenda. Now, I know it hasn't stopped many of you cyclists coming over here during the month of July and August when we have had super high temperatures. I have seen you out cycling on the island, but I do really recommend, if you're looking to come over here for a late break, come out during October. You're going to see all the resorts open, and of course you're going to experience cooler temperatures as well. So going cycling, say up to Formentor over to that area is going to be a lot more pleasant at this time of year. But with a later start to the morning and an earlier sunset as well, and the cooler days either side, you're going to be able to get out and about around the island a lot more easily than otherwise you may well have done during the summer months. The slightly cooler temperatures as well mean that the hilltop towns are going to get a little bit busier. Well, I think they're still going to be pretty busy, especially looking at Sawyer, especially getting the train and the tram over to Sawyer and Port to Sawyer. I don't think that's going to get any less busy as we go on through the month of October. It's just going to be a little bit more pleasant to visit. The same goes for some of the hilltop towns, including Valdemosa and Dea. It's also going to be a lot easier to use public transport here, with slightly less pressure on services too. And you're going to find that many of these bus routes do actually end on the 31st of October in the resorts that are also going to be, I won't say closing down, but closing most of the hotels and a lot of the restaurants too. So for example, right at the end of October, the 324 bus that runs between Campicafort and Alcudia, that's going to stop. You're going to see an end of the service too, which is such a shame, of the 325 bus which runs from Alcudia to Cala Rajada. There are going to be some other summer timetables as well which will draw to a close at the end of October, but don't worry if you're coming over, there's still plenty of buses running. In fact, all the buses are going to be running over the month of October. But I will be making a video about looking at visiting the island in November as well, so hang on until that video and I'll give you all the information about public transport then. But just to let you know, the whole public transport system will not grind to a halt at the end of October. Everything's going to be up and running and you're still going to be able to easily get around the island too. Okay, so let's talk about nightlife here in Mallorca during October. So what can you expect if maybe you're hoping to come over to enjoy some nightlife over in Magaluf? Well, we're going to be finding the closing parties taking place in many of the clubs and the beach clubs. So if you are coming over, well, you're not going to find the same experience for nightlife that you would normally find on, say, the Strip during July and August. In fact, on the Strip towards the end of October, pretty much most of it's actually going to be closed. Now, I did a live stream from there right at the very end of October last year. I'll put a link to that in the description text below as well, with a time tag as well, so you can see exactly how dead it is coming over at that time of year right at the end of October. If you are going to hope for a little bit of nightlife, then maybe come over right at the beginning of October. You should catch some closing parties, although I have to say that the closing party for BCM is at the end of September, but you may get a little bit of action down in the pubs and the bars. Otherwise, I would recommend moving your nightlife into Palma. Come into Palma, go to the bars and the clubs in Palma. It's going to be a lot busier than maybe you're going to find in some of the resorts at this time of year. Saying that as well, if you have been over here during the month of October, say you've been to Santa Ponsa or Alcudia, let me know in the comments below what the nightlife was like at this time of year. Was it busy? Let me know in comments, because I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people visiting during the month of October and they're going to want to know what it's like too. Okay, so finally, let's take a look at the events that are taking place during the month of October. Now, the 12th of October is a public holiday here on the island. You're going to find many businesses closed, many smaller businesses are closed. You may well find shopping centres closed as well. But this is the Dia Nacional, it's the Dia de Hispanidad, it's like National Spain Day. So you are going to find maybe a market down in the centre of Palma, maybe down in La Lonca. I seem to remember over previous years. You're going to find as well maybe a few other markets as well around the island too, but really this is going to be a public holiday and many people will be taking this day as a bridging holiday to enjoy a long weekend too. Now, on the weekend of the 14th and the 15th of October, I'd want to make you aware of a couple of key marathons and races that are taking place in a couple of main areas on the island too. Just if you are coming over here and you're not actually taking part in them, to actually avoid these areas. So first of all, we have the Challenge Peguera triathlon, which is taking place on the 14th of October. And this is taking place, well, kind of all around the area around Calvia. So we're looking at Peguera and also the surrounding hills and the roads and everything. So I imagine there are going to be huge road closures here. So if you are over visiting during this time, that will be a good day to stay at your hotel, or it'll be a good time to maybe get out of the resort early in the morning and maybe not come back until much later on in the afternoon. But it's going to be very busy in the Peguera area during that time, so just bear that in mind. Same goes as well for the TUI Marathon, which takes place on the 15th of October. Now this marathon takes place right through the centre of Palma. It goes along the Paseo Maritimo all the way over towards the port. It also extends down towards Molinar as well in the direction of Playa de Palma. You'll find the route also makes its way through the Old Town as well, so expect widespread road closures, expect some traffic chaos. Don't even think about taking a hire car into Palma on that day. You're going to be really stuck in that traffic. And also this might not be the best day to go sightseeing as well, so if you're not actually in the marathon, give it a miss, go and do something else on that day. So there are a few more niche events taking place on the island during the month of October. I'll pop them into a website article which you can find on MallorcaUnderTheSun.com, so do go ahead and check that out, and I'll drop a link in the comments below too. Okay everyone, I hope you found this video interesting. Don't forget you can find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.